searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, because eyes so bright.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Scheananigans. We've got my girl, Kiki Monique, back with us after spending most of August, I feel like, in the courtroom covering the Tom Girardi trial.
Yeah,
So
that was a lot.
It's nice to have you back.
I'm so
We've
good to be
missed
back.
you. I feel like my voice is not coming back. I've just accepted that. I guess I just have it feels like chronic laryngitis. I feel like I lose my voice so often. I don't know if I should go to an ENT and see if I have nodules. I've done that before. They did the scope and they're like,
And there was nothing there.
you're fine. That was, I don't know, maybe it was like 10 years ago. Maybe I need to go back.
Use that insurance. Why not?
All right. So apologies for the raspiness. I don't know. Maybe it's
sexy. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. We'll go with that. But I'm excited to hear more about the trial. I was following your stories and all of that. And before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the Pop Crime Podcast and catch Kiki on RadioAndy's Reality Checked every Monday. So, how we doing? How was Labor Day?
It was chill. I felt like I went outside one time. I actually ran into Jasmine, Valley
Oh,
Jasmine.
nice.
We went to this it was like a DTLA block party.
Okay, I saw her post. It looked really fun.
Yeah, I got some grills. Well, I got fitted for grills. My grills haven't come in
Ooh,
yet.
okay.
So very excited about my new
Nice.
set of
I
grills.
love that.
And then I binge watched the advanced screeners of the Secret Wives, Lives
Me
of
too.
Mormon Wives.
Okay, we're going to have to get into that. So when I got it sent to me, because we're going to have the girls on, which you have to co-host next week.
Okay.
So I didn't realize that I was getting all of the episodes. I waited until yesterday to start it because I thought Hulu shows come out weekly. So I was like, okay, I'm having them on week 2. They'll send me the first 2 episodes. But then they sent the whole season. I was like, well, I couldn't stop watching it.
Yeah.
I was
so
like,
good.
I need to just, the whole thing. Even Brock was into it.
I mean, I just that is the dream, to be on a show that is such a hit. And you never know if it's going to be,
Yeah.
right? But we all know it's going to be. And it's I'm just excited for them because
Oh,
you're
yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. We'll get into that more,
Yeah.
but I want to hear all about the trial. It's like you were there early each day to get the footage of Tom walking in.
Yeah.
But you also, do you have to be there at a certain time to be seated?
No, it's public, so you can kind of just go in. It's first come, first
Okay.
serve. And so I knew the first day might be a little more crowded. But as the trial, because it went on for 3 weeks, most of the time it was just me and other reporters
Mhm.
in the gallery. And you get there, the trial, the judge sets their time. She went from 9 to 4:30 every day, 2 breaks throughout the day and a
Okay.
lunch break. And yeah, you just kind of come and go as you want. And I knew the final day, I knew closing arguments and
Right.
verdict day that there would be a lot of people, but there was. But
Yeah.
it was it's just surreal, right? Watching this guy on Beverly Hills and
So crazy.
yeah, just seeing them. It was sad. Look, his suit jacket looked like it had fallen in the pool. It was all wrinkled and shriveled up. And
Yeah.
he just was sort of shuffling in every day. It's just sad all around.
Mhm.
I was enjoying it, especially when he took the stand, because that was crazy.
Yeah.
Who takes the stand?
Right.
Especially when you're claiming dementia.
Totally.
So that was crazy. Erica never showed up.
Yeah.
Which I didn't
was
expect it.
wondering if she was going to.
I didn't expect her to.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for her to. And it would
Unless
just been
she wanted the press for it. What would be the
yeah,
point?
with no point.
Yeah.
Which just, again, made it even more sad because I felt like he had no family. I feel like he had no one there, which is you could be this scion, this amazing person throughout your whole
Yeah.
life. And at the end, it's what they say, you're born alone, you die alone.
Right. Sad.
I know.
But were you surprised by the verdict?
No, because there was just too much evidence. First of all, when the government's coming for you,
Right.
they're not going to come for you unless they have a case, right?
Yeah.
So kind of already knowing that, and the specific cases they chose, I knew there's just too much evidence there.
Mm-hmm.
It was most surprising though to hear, because again, Tom's defense or his lawyer's defense was it was all the CFO's fault. And so they were putting it all
The
on the
blame game.
CFO.
Right.
So it was surprising to hear how much the CFO was allegedly getting away with too, especially when they had his girlfriend, fiance, which I'm not sure if she started as an escort or maybe I just heard those rumors, but she said fiance in this trial. I'm curious what comes out. But he was paying her $20,000 a month.
That sounds like an escort.
That's what I heard. You know, like I'm like, I don't know any girlfriends that just make that as a girlfriend.
Right. That's a good allowance.
But also, just how comfortable are you to just be writing checks from your company to your girlfriend?
Right.
Just putting it in the bank, $20,000 a month. And she was with him for a year and a half. That's like $500,000 she was making just from dating this guy.
Interesting.
And they, of course, put up this picture of him just to show that he was like clearly had to pay for it because this really hot bikini model and this guy.
Yeah. Like, the math ain't mathin'.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything new during the trial?
I think more just like there were some victims that I had never, because that's the thing. You think you know this one victim and then you're like, there's so many stories. So I heard new stories, which was crazy. And again, like we always hear about the money because, you know, Erica Jane denied any money coming to her company, EJ Global, but we saw it on the screen. We saw from 2010 to 2020, like over $21 million. And we're, again, nobody's blaming you. What we're saying is you benefited, EJ Global benefited from money that came from Girardi Keys. Will forensic accountants be able to ever like suss out what money was like Tom's? Probably not. But at the end of the day, there were people who were owed settlements who were never paid and your company benefited. So it's like at the end of the day, just feel sorry for that.
She still has the earrings?
No, there was actually like a ruling, like some, her lawyer today submitted like a brief because I think they're still kind of arguing over it, but she's never going to get those earrings back. Those are done and gone.
Gotcha. How was Tom on the stand?
He was very, I mean, that was the first time I got it. He's very charming, very.
Like, is he lucid?
Well, that's the thing. Like, he was a little too lucid. He was making jokes, cracking jokes. And then it was on one, you know, sometimes he'd act like he forgot things and he'd be repeating things over and over. And he'd be like, he'd act like he didn't know his own lawyer's name. Oh, I don't know who you are. Bad, mean. I don't know your name. But then he would tell like this story. He would talk about how he was the Aaron Brockovich lawyer. And he'd make this joke when the prosecutor would say, you know, you were the greatest, you know, attorney at one point. And he's like, nice of you to say. Can I get that on tape? Like, it was just very odd because I was like, are you trying? But I get how, you know, I felt bad. I will say like I felt empathy.
Yeah.
But it was probably not the best decision for him to get on the stand.
Right. I mean, does he actually have dementia? Has a doctor come forward and said this is his diagnosis, or is it something that he's just acting like he does? So
both doctors, so they did a competency hearing and that's how he was found competent to stand trial. But both sets of doctors on the prosecution and on the defense side did say, yes, there is the prosecution says mild cognitive disorder, while the defense is claiming that he has like severe dementia. So there is some level of something with his brain.
Somewhere in between.
But they're like, he can stand trial and he knows what's going on.
Yeah. Do you think he'll actually go to jail?
I don't know. He's got a trial in Chicago still, another fraud trial in Chicago.
You going?
I mean, it would be nice to do it, but
When is it?
It's in March. I'm just like, I don't know if I could spend like another month in March in Chicago. So
I'm
that's
going to
a lot.
Puerto Rico in March, so I won't be able to go with you. I was like, I could do a Chicago trip.
I'm more interested kind of in the CFO's trial that's going to be in LA because they're going to have to, because I'm like, I want to know how this guy was just over here spending all this money as the CFO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Puerto Rico, have you seen any of Brock's stories? He's training for an Ironman.
Oh my God. Why is he doing that?
I don't know. He wants to torture himself.
Why do people decide?
Or accomplish something, one or the other.
Does Ironman, is that like the triathlon or is it different?
It's like a triathlon. It's like 56 miles on a bike. It's swimming. It's running. It's, I don't know. He's been talking about it in kilometers and I'm American. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so I was going to say, otherwise I would be down for a Chicago trip.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the end of like the legal woes for Tom, or do you think there are more legal cases to come?
Oh no, this is the beginning. I mean, now that he's been found guilty, now that sort of opens the door and now they can kind of like dig in, but I don't think he's going to be around to see a lot of it happen.
Yeah. He's, how old
like
is he?
85.
Oh, damn. Did Erica, I know she didn't go, but did she get brought up at all?
Oh, I mean, she got brought up throughout the trial, of course, when the money, you know, and the earrings came up and just when the prosecution wanted to just show, you know, like he had this, you know, wife. And then in closing arguments, we actually saw a scene in Beverly Hills that was kind of a behind the scenes.
Right. I saw that. You posted that.
So, yeah.
That and how he was just like reciting the same
yeah,
things?
he just knew statistics, and he was very aware, and he was just like, and this was filmed in November of 2019 when they were saying he was severely in dementia, and it was like clear on this video that he was with it, he was hosting, he was holding court, and so they got to see that, which is why they had to really make sure the audience, I think, the jury didn't know anything really about Bravo and Housewives, because I think you could easily have an opinion, obviously.
Totally. I feel like with like dementia, there are certain levels where it's like you can have your long-term memory, but you don't have your short-term, because I witnessed that with my uncle. So I wonder if like with the type of cognitive whatever that he has, it's like he's able to still recite all of these things from years and years ago, but then anything in the last 10 years, it's like he can't fully retain that.
That's really what the defense was trying to argue, because there are those types of things. And while, again, people said it was a bad decision for him to go on the stand, the thing I felt like did probably, at least it resonated with me, everybody knows someone in their life who's had, dementia or Alzheimer's or something. And so there were moments where you were like, he's not acting, like you could tell he's older and he's slipping and he's trying to hold it together. And so you're like, did that get through the jury where they feel a little bit of empathy?
Right.
Well,
no.
Yeah. No, they found him guilty.
Okay, so we've got the CFO trial. Any others that we're going to track?
Well, Hunter Biden starts this week. And so I'm trying to decide if I want to go to that, because I went to like the status hearing, and, Mark Garagos is his attorney.
Yeah.
Who is Rachael's attorney, which I'm like, how do Hunter Biden and Raquel, how can they afford the same attorney?
Wild. I mean, is he doing it for clout with...
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe one of his junior attorneys were like, "Oh, this is a really like popular."
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then didn't Sandoval fire his brother after he said he tricked him like into suing Ariana?
Yeah.
Fuck. I can't. Okay, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is now streaming to Hulu, and this is a show I was so excited to binge watch. Y'all, I finished it in less than 48 hours, and I'm telling you, you're going to do the same thing. I had to keep watching another episode. It's so good. It's about this group of Mormon moms who grew up in the very conservative Mormon faith, following the very, very strict rules of like no cursing, tattoos, piercings, alcohol, caffeine, and, you have to be the perfect wife for your husband. These women blew up overnight on TikTok and were fully in the spotlight when Taylor Frankie Paul announced that she and others in the group were involved in swinging. Now they're all coming together for this new reality series that gives you an inside look at the secrets, lies, and gossip in mom talk. Taylor Frankie Paul and Macy are going to be on the podcast next week. I am so excited because these women are changing gender roles in the Mormon culture and just paving the way for the next generation. I mean, when I saw the trailer for this show, I couldn't wait for it to come out. Like from Utah to Vegas, we've got scandals. We've got some who drink, some who don't. There's a little bit of drama in between. I mean, it's seriously so good. Like, you're not going to want to miss it. If you don't already know who they are, you're going to after this. Watch the Hulu original series, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. All episodes now streaming on Hulu. Okay, so watching that show got me thinking. The girls are talking about their garments. And, you don't have to be Mormon to wear something under your clothes. One thing that I've been wearing under mine lately is Knix. They have the most comfortable wireless bras. If you need, they have leak-proof undies. They've got something for all women. They have the intimates that are actually designed for real bodies. So they have literally the perfect fit wireless bras that are so comfortable, supportive. They range from different styles, different sizes, all the way up to a G cup. And you find the right fit with their virtual fitting. So this is super easy. It's totally free. They have something for women from pregnancy, maternity, post-pregnancy. I love that Knix just gives women extra confidence they need before and after having a baby. Nursing bras and tanks, postpartum care with leak-proof undies. They've got the thigh savers, avoid chafing, sweating through, and sticking to seats. These shorts also work with any outfit. And most importantly, it's comfortable. Everyone needs to be in something comfortable to wear. Millions have switched to Knix. I have. You've got to check them out. Go to knix.com and get 15% off with promo code GOODASGOLD. That's knix.com, code GOODASGOLD for 15% off. knix.com. All right, so we started talking about the secret lives of Mormon wives, and I'm dying to get into this with you. So, yeah, next week, I need you with me on the co-host mic.
Yes.
We're going to have Macy and Taylor.
Oh, my God.
I'm so excited. This show.
No. And like Taylor especially, I mean, she's the one that started Mom Talk. And I feel like I have so many thoughts and opinions about her.
Spill.
Well, just because like all we know about her is like this, she revealed they were soft swinging, which again, like
I'm like, is that everything but like, I mean, you're sucking a dick, but you're not putting it in. You're not like,
my understanding is like, they would be kind of like in rooms together or at houses together and like make out in front of each other as long as the other partner was there. You know, they could kind of make out with the other partner, but then
like, was it just making out or like, you know?
I think there was no sex. I mean, that's because I think that's what was the problem is she took it too far, and that's why she ended up her relationship ended because she took it too far with. We don't know which husband she took it too far with, but
I can't wait
she
to
crossed
ask.
the line.
I'm also wondering if it was any of the husbands in the group on the show. Because it's not set on the whole season.
It's not. But like when you watch her TikToks now, there's 2 other mom talkers she's feuding with. And like, so nobody said anything. But my thought is like, if she's feuding with those, I feel like those are the ones she has drama with.
Totally. Okay. So the mom talk, it's not just the girls on the show. There's others that are like a part of this group, but just didn't do the show.
It's like, there's like the mom talk that started Mom Talk. And then I guess they asked the mom talkers with the scandal to all come on the show. 2 of them declined because it wasn't right for their family.
I heard about that.
Taylor came on, and then they also have other girls who weren't part of the swinging, but were connected to the Mom Talk crew.
Okay.
But they just weren't swinging. Because I think it was only Whitney that was really involved in the group that was in the swinging. Now, I don't know if she was
Whitney swinging?
I don't.
She got the husband on Tinder.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, who knows? She didn't. I think she was just around when the swinging was happening. Okay. It doesn't sound like that she was part of it. But
yeah. Well, she's pregnant right now, so best wishes to her. But this show is so good.
No, it's so good. And like, I worry about the sophomore season because I know there will be, because there's going to be a sophomore. Yeah. But like now after they watch it, it's like, are they going to change? Like, like I feel like Whitney especially, she's going to get so much backlash. She's going to like try to just change so many things about her.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, that's the thing. It's like a first season show. They're so innocent. You know, they don't know what the world has in store for them in reality TV. And the second season, you're definitely way more in your head. You know, I mean, I see it with my friends on the Valley where it's like, you film, then it airs, then you get the backlash, and then you film another season and you're so in your head about, well, if I say this, if I don't like this person, it's just like.
I mean, I've seen a couple pictures. I've seen that you've been around a couple of what looks like the filming. So have you noticed that there's been different kind of how people are acting this season while filming?
Some.
Okay.
Yes. I think some are acting a little more calm at times. And I'm like, come on, give me the crazy, you know? But yeah, there's some though where it's just like, it's so beautiful how like the cameras just aren't there. Okay. And they're just themselves.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like this is my group of friends. Yeah. So, anyway, okay. Moving on to Real Housewives of Orange County, because we haven't discussed this yet. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast, but I need to know what you think. Yeah. Alexis, Johnny J, engaged.
God. Yeah.
Gross.
It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot. And like, first of all, how sad is it that when you make an engagement announcement, you have to turn your comments off because that's how much people are against, like your union. Like it should be one of the happiest moments of your life. You should want everyone to be congratulating you. Yeah. Comments off the post. So already, it's like not good. And I just here's the thing. I actually feel empathy towards Alexis because if she said she was supposed to come on this season as single Lexi and that she met John Jansen. If that is,
I don't buy that.
You don't buy it.
No. I think she's on the season because of him.
And it feels like he's taking advantage of that to clear his name. And he's using Alexis to do it. And it's so frustrating because it's like, you are not a housewife. Please stay out of the business. And nobody's getting to know her. All we're getting to know is like her backing up this guy, which we really don't care about.
Yeah.
When Shannon broke up with him, we were fine with him moving on. And like, we never had to hear from Johnny J again.
And the whole rebrand of his name, like, you're John Jansen. You can call yourself Johnny J. You're still John Jansen.
And then it just looks bad because like you, Alexis, literally, you've now been with two men who are who have sued Shannon.
Yes.
That is so
what the fuck?
Insane.
I know. It is wild.
And I think that Shannon got that DUI. And I think her castmates, particularly Tamra and Alexis, thought that the audience was going to like kind of have vitriol for her. Because, you know, she did a bad thing.
Right.
But what they failed to recognize was like, while we can go at Shannon, we're also not going to let you beat her up over the head.
Totally.
And befriend a woman who's with a man who is suing her and now throwing it in her face. Like, we're just not going to put up with that.
No. Like, you can't kick the girl when she's down. I love Shannon so much. I do feel like Alexis is going to have a long engagement, though, because otherwise that alimony is going to get cut off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand people who marry. Like, I got mad at Countess Luang when she got married because we can't even call her the Countess anymore because as soon as she married Jackass, she couldn't call herself the Countess anymore. And that lasted what? That marriage was like, I don't even know how long. And so, Alexis is getting what, like 10 grand a month?
10,000 a month, yeah.
And is that just child support and alimony, or is that just the... we don't know.
I think it's just alimony.
Okay, just alimony? Oh. And so you're getting 10 grand, and if you get married, you're going to lose it, which means you haven't built yourself up enough as an independent woman. So now you're going to have to rely on another man to take care of you. Again, I just don't want Alexis to keep putting herself in this situation.
Yeah. And was it something with her last fiance, like to get on below deck?
Someone brought that up. I had forgotten about that. So I guess she was with that guy for like 3 years and they broke up just a few months before she met John. And somebody was saying she was with this guy. I don't even remember. I remember the Below Deck episode he was on. I don't really remember much about who he was, though. Yeah,
I feel like she's been wanting to get back on the show for a while, though. Even just the way she was at BravoCon, it was so obvious that she missed that spotlight.
Yeah, which I get. I mean, I think once you get a taste of it, it's probably hard to let go.
We need to get Gretchen back.
Really?
I think we need Gretchen back.
You're a Gretchen fan. You're a friend. You're actually friends with her.
I've been friends with her since season 1 of Vanderpump. I've known her through my whole reality TV.
Does she want to be back on?
I think she's in a very good, peaceful place in her life that I don't know if she would. But it's like, money talks, you know?
I know, but like, do you think Slade would allow it? Because he gets a lot of shit, like, for like, I think the whole thing with his kid and stuff like that. I felt like the audience kind of turned on him in the recent years.
I think it would have to benefit them, not just financially, but it would have to be like a stepping stone for something else. You know, if they're starting a new brand or launching something, I feel like...
How do they make money? I'm just curious, like when you're not on reality.
Honestly, I don't ask anyone what they do for a living. Prime example, I had a play date this weekend, yesterday actually, with a couple of the moms from my daughter's preschool. And one of them said she's going out of the country on a trip this weekend because she has a meeting. Or she didn't even say, she just said she was going out of town. And so I might see her mother-in-law drop off. And I was like, oh, cool. Where are you going? She tells me, I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. She's like, yeah, I just have a meeting. I'll be back Monday night. And I was like, okay, cool. I don't feel it's my place to ask. Like my mom was like, what do they do? I'm like, I don't know. And she's like, you didn't ask? I'm like, no, I think it's rude to ask. And she was like, well, by her telling you she's going on a work trip. I go, she didn't say work trip. She said she was going on a trip. And then I said, where to? And then she said, oh, I have a meeting. And I was like, for all I know, she could be meeting a plastic surgeon. Like, I don't think it's my business to be like, well, what's the meeting for? What do you do for a living?
See, I'm from New York, and I feel like it's the first thing you ask people is like, what do they do? Whereas like, I will say in LA, I feel like it's where do you live?
Yeah. That's the thing. I know where they live. Like I have their addresses. Summer's been to one of their houses.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel so weird asking like, oh, what does your husband do? What if he's just a stay-at-home dad? And what if she like is embarrassed to say that or something? Or what if, he's a plumber? Or I don't know. Like
she
no
should
shame.
be proud.
But I've never asked. Like as long as I've been an adult and going out and meet people, I'm like, hopefully it comes up in conversation.
When people ask you what you do, what do you say?
I mean, it's awkward too, because I don't want to say I feel like everyone just knows who I am. You know, I think at the school, I'm like, do they watch our show? I mean, there's 3 of us, in the class, but there's actual celebrities who have kids who go to this school.
Okay.
So I'm like, I don't know if the moms know what we do, but there was a birthday party that none of us could go to because we all had to film. And so I had to tell them, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I was like, we're actually working. But then I'm like, is she going to ask like what? And I was like, yeah, we're all filming together. And I'm like, I feel like they probably talk. Maybe they know. But whenever I just meet someone random and they ask what I do, I'm like, I used to lie and just say something stupid like, oh, I work at PetSmart. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I just really like animals. And they're like, okay, because you don't really have follow-up questions for that.
Well, what do you put on your tax return? Reality star? Like
I don't know. I have a business manager who does that for me. Whenever I have to fill out like doctor's forms or something, I always just say self-employed. Okay. Because I'm like, who is my employer? Is it Bravo? Is it Evolution?
Yes.
Is Evolution even Evolution anymore? Now it's like Amazon, it's MGM. Like I don't
Self-employed
know.
Makes sense. Okay.
Do I say Dear Media? Like I just say self-employed. Okay. Because also like Instagram and social media is self.
Okay.
But whenever like someone random asks, sometimes I just say like, oh, I'm in TV. But then there's like the follow-up questions. And it's like, oh, tell me about the show. I say I host a podcast. And then they're like, well, what's your podcast about? I'm like, oh, like pop culture. But like, who are your guests? Like, I'm just like, there's always so many follow-up questions. So I hate when people ask me. So I think that's also why I don't ask.
Got it.
So I have no idea what any of my daughter's friends' parents do. I'm just like, we all live in the valley. Our kids go to school. They like each other. It's enough for me. Yeah. Anyway. All right. So if you're like me and you like making coffee at home, get ready to discover how much better it can be with Trade. As America's #1 specialty coffee marketplace, Trade doesn't make any of its own coffees. Instead, they bring together top independent roasters from small towns across the U.S., places you'd love if you lived nearby, and they curate the best of the best for you to enjoy at home. Whether you want traditional coffee, you want some espresso for your espresso machine, to have a shot of espresso, have something affogato, have an espresso martini, Trade is for you. It's like, it's better coffee because they send me high quality, freshly roasted beans that are perfectly matched to my taste. Great coffee simply starts with better beans, and I get mine from Trade. No matter how you brew, what equipment you prefer, getting coffee from Trade is literally the easiest way to instantly improve your at-home coffee experience. It's just like you become your own barista, or if you have a little summer moon at home, she likes to be my barista. And when you subscribe to Trade, you're supporting small businesses because they partner with 50 plus independent roasters across the country. They've made over 435,000 perfect coffee matches to date. But if you're not fully satisfied with your first coffee, they'll replace it for free. Simple as that. That's coffee at home made better. Head to drinktrade.com/goodasgold to receive your first bag free. Just because it's summer doesn't mean you have to cut out all of the carb-heavy foods you love. Hero Bread has reinvented the bread and buns that make summer great. Summer the season and summer my daughter, because let me tell you, she is obsessed with Hero Bread. I make her quesadillas with the tortillas. We do sandwiches for school on the bread. And my personal favorite, the Hawaiian rolls. Oh my gosh, so good. Fluffy, delicious flavor and texture with no net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and fewer calories, plus protein and fiber. This is something that even my husband, Brock, has fully gotten behind. He was like, where are these tortillas from? They are fantastic. Or as he calls them, wraps. But we know. You know, with Brock being a big nutrition guy, he does try to cut the carbs out of his diet, but Hero fits perfectly in his diet. So if you're a bread lover like me, then Hero Bread is for you. All your favorites, no consequences or compromises, 0 to 1 grams of net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, and high in fiber. Delicious and flavorful. The soft, fluffy experience you love when enjoying a juicy hot dog, refreshing BLT, or a mouth-watering cheeseburger. Keep the carbs out of summer without compromising flavor with Hero Bread. Get 10% off your order at hero.co and use code GOODASGOLD at checkout. That's goodasgold at hero.co. We must talk about Tamra's facelift.
Oh my God.
Have you seen the content? I mean, it's hard to miss.
Yeah. I mean, she's all over. She's posting every day with that crispiness.
I saw a post that someone asked her mom if she was in a motorcycle accident.
It does look like road rash.
Like, I'm all for transparency, you know, and when you get work done, like, I want to know every single thing Kim Kardashian has done to her face.
Yes.
I love when people talk about it. But is there a line between transparency and like TMI, you know?
There can be. I don't think that I am as bothered by her telling us everything that's going on.
Yeah.
I think it's that she's trying to still just create regular content with this face, which I don't necessarily want to look at this crispy face in every video. I'm just
like listening because I'm like, this is Tamra. It is Tamra. Like, I hear the voice.
Yeah. But I'm glad she's transparent about it. I mean.
Yeah, I love that. I really
Even
do.
though I did have a doctor slide into my DMs and it's like, because she had that chin strap, because she said she got a laser CO2 like laser thing.
Right.
She said she got an upper eye something, but she said she didn't get a full facelift or whatever.
Yeah.
But the doctor was like, no, with that chin strap, there's no way I don't know what they explained to me, but she was saying, and I was like, so I don't even know if she's being as transparent about everything, but.
Didn't she say that she already had a lower facelift, but then she just got a brow lift and then the CO2 or whatever?
She was saying it was just like a brow lift and like, it was like some sort of laser, where it just like burned your face off, I guess.
I will say though, it makes me feel better that when I see that, it makes me never want to have a facelift or anything. I've been so self-conscious about these smile lines that are starting to stick. And I just jokingly, when I got my lips touched up the other day, asked my doctor, who is a plastic surgeon. I've never had plastic surgery. I will one day, but maybe, I don't know, after seeing this, I might not. But I was like, I feel like I need like a mini facelift. And he was like, and I'm totally 100% joking. And I say this to the nurse and then they're like, we're going to go get the doctor. And then he comes in, he's like, Scheana, you were only 39. I was like, no, that was a joke. But I'm like, but what can we do for these lines? Because they're starting to stick and now I am getting self-conscious about it. So we did this treatment called Soft Wave and Pure Impact. So it's like a tightening and toning for the bod, but then it is supposed to help produce collagen for your face. So you do it once, then you come back 30 days later and then every 6 months and you're supposed to start seeing results. So, see.
Yeah, because the facelifts I heard are just brutal.
Oh my God, they look terrifying. The recovery?
Yeah.
Like I can't even get a boob job because I'm like, no, I don't want to be cut open. I've never had a nose job despite popular opinion. I've not cut anything other than my gums to have a tooth removed.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary stuff. But yeah, Tamra,
it is.
She's out there. She's putting it all out there. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's good content for her because it is. I mean,
everyone's watching it. I'm sure the engagement is through the roof.
Oh my God. I'm like, please heal soon.
Please send her some well wishes as well. Wait, now, did I hear that there was some drama Tamra and Teddy were talking about us on their podcast? Where they were talking about you, but then Teddy brought up like, oh, is it about Scheana or something?
So yeah, I didn't know they had brought us up on the podcast until someone called into the radio show. And I didn't think they were going to bring it up.
Yeah, one of my friends texted me and she was like, at the whatever minute mark, like, go listen to this. They're talking about you. And I was like, oh, T.
And so when I listened to it was basically, I think Teddy asked, or Tamara said, oh, I reached out to Kiki Monique. And Teddy was like, oh, what, about Scheana? And then Tamara was like, no. And then I was confused because like, why would, And then she goes into the story. Now, I hadn't told the story because I actually didn't think that she would want it out there because I thought it was kind of weird. But while I'm at the Tom Girardi trial, I come out one day because you have to turn your phones off and all that stuff. I turn my phone on and I'm seeing these DMs come in from Tamra. I'm like, what? She's like,
Do you follow each other?
We follow each other, but like we've never really messaged.
Yeah.
And she was like, were you just hosting RadioAndy? And it was a Thursday, and sometimes I host on Thursday, but I normally host on Monday. And I was like, I said, no. I said, I'm at the Tom Girardi trial. I said, like, why? And she's like, were you, or she goes, were you hosting when someone called in and called Alexis a whore and told me and said that I was a piece of shit? And I was like, I said, I'm not hosting. I'm at this trial.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, do you know who it is? And I was like, I had a clue. I was like, we rotate. It's either me, Dorinda Medley, or this other girl, Lakendra. I said, or sometimes they do a guest host on Thursday. But I said, like, I'm not there today. And she's like, I was so mad. I contacted Andy because I'm just, and so I was like, then I was like, what? Are you trying to get us fired from our jobs? I'm like, what is happening? So I was literally like, well, I said, it wasn't me, but I said, in the future, like, if I ever piss you off, can you come to me first without trying to get me fired? Because I really need my job.
Right.
And she's like, oh, and she was like, LOL. She's like, I only cuss people out when I get paid for it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, well, I don't know. I went and listened, though. Here's the thing. Here's what I think happened. Because first of all, I don't even think she listened to the actual segment, because if you knew, it says right on the series who's hosting that day. It literally says it in the thing. And the way she was describing it, I was like, it was a caller, right? She's like, well, it was a caller, but the host was egging it on. So I went and listened to the segment, and pretty much this caller called in and they were like, they did say Alexis was a whore. But what they said about Tamra was just that she said, I don't give two craps about Tamra. And if I were her kids, if I was Shannon, I would say, at least my kids talk to me. And that was all she said. She didn't say her kids hate her or anything like that. So I was like, I don't even think you listened to the segment, and now you're like yelling at us. So then a caller called in to RadioAndy, I guess told Lakendra. So I don't know. I haven't, but I was also just at the moment, I was like, did the person who DM'd you, like, did they just say that the black host was hosting that day? Did you assume it was me? Because I was like, why did you think it was me? Because me and Lakendra don't sound anything alike. So, and then I was like, you clearly didn't listen. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh no.
So I don't know. I guess it's squash, but I'd really love to know what she sent to Andy. That's what I really was curious about, because I'm like, would Andy even care? Also,
post the DM.
What are we supposed to do when a caller calls in? The callers call in and you have no control over what they say. I mean, they call
even
and say,
if you vet the question ahead of time, they can still say whatever they want.
It's free speech. They can say whatever they want. And I'm not going to chastise them for having an opinion. Right. I'm not going to say, like, don't talk about Tamra that way, because let's be real, the internet's talking about you, hon. I can't control that. And I think that she's just spiraling a bit, because, like, I do think that she came into this season thinking that if she sort of, again, targeted Shannon, it would work out for her, because Shannon had the DUI and she was going to easily play normally the game she plays. I think most of the time Tamra, will choose content or filming over like a friendship. And so she's like, I'm willing to, and we'll make up later. And so I just don't think it's working out for her, because everyone feels sorry for Shannon.
Yeah. And
I wonder if almost like production egged it on a bit, and they said, like, why don't you?
No, they don't do that, Kiki. They never do that.
Maybe they egged it on a bit. And
no way.
I don't know. Like, did you feel that, like, I think that people have maybe similar vibes about the last season of Vanderpump, right? Like, I feel like you and Lala were kind of doing stuff maybe that was directed, maybe production was pushing you in one direction, and then when it went that way and it didn't turn out the way it was maybe supposed to, it was kind of like, wash your hands, and then, like, you kind of got all of the backlash for it. I don't know.
I mean, what I'll say is that it's time to take another break. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're back.
So you're not going to answer me. No,
I already forgot the question. Next question, please.
All right. Next question.
Do you have another question?
I do want to know that I did see some pictures. TMZ had posted some pictures of, like, I think you were filming, like, I saw big plastic balls. You were on a film and it looked like Brittany and Jax and like the whole valley. I haven't
seen those photos yet, but I did see the girl from TMZ who has literally been in the parking lot here waiting at my car for me. And I'm like, I didn't post that I was doing a podcast. How do you know I was here? She was like, oh, I saw your car pull in. I'm like, so you just waited. You didn't know how long I was going to be in this building. You just waited at my car. So I've seen her.
Oh my God.
I've also learned that whenever I get my facials, not to post in real time because they show up at Elite Aesthetics where I go.
God.
So I recognize this girl. And Brittany, Jax, like no one else knew who she was. She had her little camcorder. They just thought she was production getting content. And I go, I just want everyone to know that she is not with production. She is TMZ. And right when that wrapped up, I just see her beeline for Brittany.
Okay.
So I knew there was going to be photos and stuff that came out, but I actually haven't seen them yet.
Well, I mean, are Jax and Brittany even speaking? I mean, they were on.
Not that day, at least not in front of me.
All right. I'm curious because like obviously he just came out with that statement where he was like, you know, basically saying he just was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and he had like PTSD and he's like saying he's going through this mental health. I'm curious, like you talk about your mental health openly. Like, do you have any empathy? Are you trying to reach out to him in any way?
Look, if that was the only reason he sought treatment, yes.
Okay. And we'll leave it at that, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw, this was a Reddit thread, so I don't even know. This is just things people, because I don't like going on Reddit. It scares me.
No,
but people,
it's terrifying.
People send you stuff and you're kind of like, okay, it's curious.
Yeah.
Someone said that Jax had like an eBay site or something where he sells.
Oh my God. Kiki?
Like his promo, like PR pack.
He does. Janet showed me it. We did a deep dive of his eBay. And I mean, I guess here's some free promo for Jax Taylor's eBay. But like he'll sell like tumblers and stuff that says like Hulu or whatever. Like he has stuff like that. He was selling Brittany's little like tote bags from Jenny Craig. I mean, it's wild. I think some of Cruz's old stuff. Like,
stop it.
Yeah.
How much money can he possibly be making for this? This feels like when like I see Brandi Glanville doing all those clickbait posts in her, like where she's getting like pennies on the dollar for these things.
I mean, yeah, I know he was selling stuff for like less than like $30.
Oh God.
I mean,
but also just have a garage sale. It would probably be easier if you just like posted on your Instagram, like, hey guys, we're having a free for all. Come and like buy things for $5. They would just come to meet you. You could probably even sell pictures of you with you for like a couple bucks. Like just doing eBay, this feels like a lot of work. You got to ship things out.
Have a garage sale in a couple weeks after this podcast comes out. He's back.
I mean, you know, I'll help him put it on.
Yeah, you know, I hope that he is on the right meds and the right therapy and just doing what is going to be best, not just for himself, but for his kid, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously him and Brittany are done, but I just want her to be at peace. I don't want her to have to deal with crazy Jax and fighting for custody and doing like, I've seen Lala go through this for over 3 years. And I just don't want Brittany to have to deal with the same
and
stuff.
is Lala
you know?
she's not finalized. Her divorce isn't final, is it?
Thankfully, they were never married.
Oh, yeah. They never got married.
Custody.
It's just the custody. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, between their divorce, Jesse and Michelle's, I mean, season 2 is lit. Mm-hmm.
I did go to an event. I don't know if I went to an event at Abilene. That was really fun.
Oh,
that was Janet.
yeah.
Janet threw a little event.
I know. I had a photo shoot that day and I wasn't able to go.
I thought you were
going to
come. It was so much fun. And I thought we were going to meet Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
But it was her birthday the next day.
Yeah.
So she could, I was like.
I know. I was so bummed I couldn't make it. But it was literally the exact same time. And I had this shoot set up for a couple weeks already. I was like, I couldn't change it.
The wine is actually really,
so
normally
my wine fridge
wines,
is stocked with Ovalane.
No, it's so good.
Yeah.
And I did not have a hangover.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much the only wine I drink.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Vanderpump Rosé. Okay, I thought it would be fun if we could wrap this episode up with a game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
Are you down?
All right.
Okay. I've got like maybe 10 or 12.
Okay.
All right. Would you rather your significant other leave you for an upgrade or a downgrade?
Upgrade, absolutely.
Right? So at least it made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Would you rather listen to one song for the rest of your life or never be allowed to listen to the same song twice?
Oh, gosh. I guess I would rather not listen to the same song twice. Just keep exploring. That sucks, but...
Because then you can still listen to it in your head.
In your head.
You can remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you rather chew your toenails off or someone else's fingernails?
Oh my God, I've chewed my own toenails before. What are you talking about?
So at Summer, thankfully she's off that now, but when she was like 1.5, she would be just like, and I think all babies do that, but I'm like, honey, I will clip them. Like, you don't need to eat your toes. Would you rather get rich in a way that disappoints your family or just make enough money to live?
I don't think that I could disappoint my family unless I did.
So may as well try, right?
Yeah, that's what I was like, yeah.
I would try to disappoint them too.
Yeah.
Would you rather go back in time to meet your ancestors or go into the future and meet your great-grandchildren?
You know, I think I know what my ancestors were doing. I'm going to go to the future and hope for the best.
Totally. Took me a second. Would you rather know the date of your death or the cause of your death?
I would like to know the cause because I could probably prevent it. Like if it was a heart attack.
Right.
Maybe
the car accident, you just never get in a car again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have hands for feet or feet for hands?
Hands for feet or feet for hands. I think I want hands for feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
Kinda
easier
like a
to
chimp.
walk that way.
Yeah.
Totally. Would you rather live in a mountain cabin with no human contact or a big city studio apartment with no personal space?
I think the city.
Yeah. Same. It's like New York, right?
Yeah. It's moved to New York.
Pretty much everyone I know who lives in New York.
Yeah.
Would you rather your parents arrange your marriage or marry your most recent ex?
I couldn't marry my most recent ex. But I guess I trust my parents. They're cool.
I would trust my parents, yeah. Would you rather use your ID photo as your profile photo or post your last text conversation to social media?
Oh God, I'm never going to post any text, so I guess I'll just use my ID.
I still have my ID photo, not going to lie. I got it done season 5 when I changed my name. And it's still such a good photo that I'm afraid to change it because I'm like, what if it's not as good of a photo? Like mine looks like an actual headshot.
That's amazing because I got my California license when I moved here, and thank God, because my New York license, I cried when I opened it. That bitch told me I had taken a good photo. I literally sat. I opened my mailbox and I cried. And
I would too.
I was so sad.
You're stuck with it.
I was stuck.
They were so nice though at the DMV. I think because we were filming that day, they let me approve it and they asked if I wanted to take a second one. So I'm like, they're never going to give me that treatment again.
No.
You know?
Maybe.
I mean, unless I change my name again. But it's just such a bitch.
Yeah, don't do it.
I know everyone online wants me to change my name, but I'm like, whatever. Would you rather make a museum exhibit of your middle school photos or Google search history?
Oh, middle school photos. That was cute.
You just make a Chola museum of me. Would you rather watch the same toddler cartoon on repeat or mukbangs for 24 hours?
I think I'm going to have to go with the toddler cartoon because I saw a mukbang the other day where she was literally just slurping like 58 eggs in. And I was like, I can't take this anymore.
But I could watch Bluey all day long. Even the same episode on repeat, sign me up. Would you rather someone buy you an Apple Watch or name a penguin after you?
Oh, I don't want a penguin named after me.
Yeah. You can buy yourself an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one. Would you rather only be allowed to wear a surdress for the rest of your life or never be able to wear a dress again?
Oh, never wear a dress again. I'm good with leggings.
I agree. I'm like, sometimes, I'm like, I don't want to wear a dress and heels. Like, no. I just, I get invited to events and it determines if I feel like doing glam. Do I have it's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
I like to wear sneakers.
Yes.
And
feels
oversized
good.
Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. I look forward to next week with Macy and Taylor. I'm so excited you can do that one with me too. Thank you guys all for tuning in. You can find Kiki at The Talk of Shame on Instagram, Reality Checked with Kiki on RadioAndy, and every Monday, that's Reality Checked, Pop Crime, new podcast episodes weekly. If you're not already listening and watching and subscribing, What are you doing? So thank you guys. And be sure to binge the whole season of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives before we do the podcast next week, because so many of your questions, I'm sure we're going to ask. You're going to want to hear the answers. Like this show, 5-star.
I've been searching for this all my